Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday night at Knox Makers. This is our weekly show and share event. We do it every Tuesday, rain, shine, holiday or no. We come together and share projects we've worked on, projects we failed at, projects we need help on. Just note, if you're speaking, if you need to show something, please place it here to the right of yourself where the camera can catch it. Speak into the mic. If you're a little shorter, maybe bring the mic down. If you're a little taller, bring it up. Got to watch your plosives. And if you display something on the camera, you can twist this knob on the side and it will, it's my first time doing it, it'll slowly adjust to where you need it to be. And I left my list over there. Hang tight. We run a tight ship. First up today, we have Isaac presenting about faux post.
There's a quote from Penn Jillette that I really like that I'm going to butcher, but he says something like, the secret of magic is that I will spend more time on this than you think it's worth. And that really epitomizes my approach to making. Maybe some of y'all can remember, showed off, I think last year, maybe the year before, that I made this cemetery fence for my Halloween setup that I was really satisfied with and pleased. I do like the fence very much, but this is my mailbox. I think it looks kind of dumb because it's like right there in front of the fence. And so I had this vision of incorporating it. And so I wanted to make this post into like a part of a gate. And so this is a better picture of my stupid mailbox that basically I wanted to replicate. And so the challenge that I set out for myself was to spend as little money as possible and to make this thing last as long as I could. You know, I want to use this many seasons, and I wanted it to look as realistic as I could manage. And so I've started here. This is just 2x4s that I had laying around that I've sawed up and just sort of ramshackled together. And here I have added more internal skeleton to the thing. The idea was to provide more physical structure to it because I was going to glue styrofoam to the outside. That pink styrofoam that they use for insulating homes is what home haunters usually use to make things like crypts out of, but that stuff is properly expensive, and I was trying not to spend money. So I bought 2 sheets of this cheap white crummy styrofoam for like 30 bucks. That was my outlay. And I'm starting to glue the styrofoam on the outside of this thing here. And here on the back, you can see some additional structure because I wanted there to be a removable panel so I could get to the inside of it while it was installed. And that's held on just with like the type of magnets that would ordinarily hold a cabinet shut, you know, just to make it sort of stay put. And here I've got it wrapped up in the styrofoam, and I have painstakingly measured out all the stupid bricks on it. And this was a combination of measuring, and also I made little shapes that I could trace around because I didn't want it to be too regular because I thought that would undermine it. And then, I don't know that you're going to be able to see this terribly well, but what's happened in this one is I've used a hot knife, which Martin Webster gave me, and I've used the hot knife in the styrofoam to cut in all the little mortar lines to give it dimensionality, which I felt like would make it sell a lot better. A lot of the times when you see home haunters do this stuff, it's just sort of spray painted, and I wanted people to think it was real, so I spent too much time in that. And the fumes were really bad, and that was terrible. And here I have texturized the thing. I'm trying to accomplish something like a credible brick texture here. And this is a combination of a wood rasp and sandpaper, and I also spritzed it with water and hit it with a heat gun to slightly melt some of the styrofoam to give it more dimensionality. And at this point I felt like it was starting to kind of look, you know, like it had the right flavor to it. And here I've started to paint it with monster mud, which is like one of my favorite things. Haunters have been using this stuff forever. There's not like one recipe. Everybody does a little bit different. The way I do it is with joint compound and exterior latex paint and a little bit of sand. And what you wind up with is this material that seals it against the weather fairly well. It becomes surprisingly rigid and durable, and it looks a lot like actual stone. It's terrible to work with, but the end result is very pleasing. So here I'm painstakingly painting this thing, and now hopefully you can kind of see the result, which I thought was pretty solid. Like, you know, you could kind of believe that. Which of course this is going to be looked at, you know, for 1 second at night by children who only want candy. So I'm obviously out of my mind, but it's important to me. And now I've started to paint it. This is just the paint that was left over. It came with the house. This is what they used on the exterior, and I wanted it to match the other column. So I'm now painting it to match the other column. And now I've got it installed, and you can see the point of having that back come off is having access to the internal structure, because I use these I don't know what they're for, these massive nail things that you can get at the hardware store. I use those to nail everything down to the ground so it doesn't blow around or like fall on children and stuff. And so I've nailed this thing down to keep it from moving. And there then is sort of the end result. I've made gates to go in between them, and there's another picture of it. So it's not terribly imposing or anything, but I think it sells, and it looks pretty okay at night. And as it weathers and starts to get dirty, I think it'll get even better. So I'm fairly pleased with it. In the long run, I imagine that I may actually put things in it like electronics or fog machines and stuff. I'm not really sure. It's got a lot of internal volume, but for now it serves the purpose of having incorporated it fully into the fence and making it seem more legit, I think. Yep, so there you go. I've lost my mind. Sir?
How long did it take you?
I actually looked that up because I knew that somebody would ask me that. I started it on September the 1st, and so whenever I could beg, borrow, or steal time, I was out in the garage tinkering with it. So it was a month of night, evenings, and weekends, you know, in between other Halloween projects, but a lot of time, too much time.
Did that put over the existing mailbox post?
Oh, no. There's a real mailbox post, and then there's my fake one sitting next to it. So it's just sort of doubling the real one.
All right.
Yep. Thanks.
Next up, we have Aaron, who's going to show us a Mandalorian helmet.
All right, I'm Aaron Gloffenheim. This is my first show and share, and this is my Mandalorian helmet. It's mostly 3D printed. I built it using Ender 3 printer, so it's quite big. So I had to break it up into 11 different individual components to do the shell, and then they're glued together and then epoxy coated to give it a little weight and smooth out all the print lines and things like that. One of the things I wanted to do with this that I didn't really like about the other versions of these that I've seen out there is they're just kind of the exterior. So I printed some interior details. I don't know if I can show it. Let's see if this will work. So there's some interior components and details. Those are all also 3D printed. And then I wanted it to be comfortable to wear for long periods of time. So these are actually made out of TPU. And I played around with the settings and stuff to try to get them so they're, very compliant. It's kind of tricky to print on a Ender 3, which is a Bowden tube extruder. And then also added some supports in here to hold the helmet, the bottom part of the T-visor so it's square. And then the T-visor itself is made with like a welding shield. You can get different shades. And that I made like a paper template and cut out until it fit the way I wanted it before cutting on the actual thing. So that's my show and share.
How long did it take?
I probably spent, 40 hours working on this thing, and it probably took about 2 weeks worth of print time to print all of it. TPU prints really slow, so that takes a lot of time too. Yes.
Did you paint it after you epoxied it?
Yes, I did paint it. Just spray paint.
How do you start the rest of the costume?
I haven't yet. I was focused on just the helmet for now, but eventually I want to get to the rest of it. Mhm.
You said TPU, so is the whole helmet TPU or is it other filament?
It's just TPU. I use Ninja Flex. It's like a the lowest hardness value I could find, and was pretty happy with how that turned out. Mhm.
Will you put it on?
Sure. Yes, another question.
How easy is it to see out of it?
I can see well enough. I mean, you know, your field of view is somewhat limited because it's just, you know, a slot. But I did mess around with the positioning of the pads and things like that, so it would hold the helmet in the right optimal position for me to be able to see, you know, pretty well out of. So I have like Velcro pads in there. I can move them around and adjust it. Mm-hmm.
Did you model it yourself, or did you purchase them all?
A little of both. So all the internals are my design. The outer shell, I purchased the basic model and then sliced it up and redid it how I wanted it. So started with someone else's model for the main shell. All right.
I cannot wait to see Keith's share, which has the grandiose title, I forgot it. What's the title?
The Grand Monolith of Time.
He said it, the Grand Monolith of Time. Let's see it.
This is like another one in a series that I've been kind of working on with the hope to maybe exhibit downtown or one of the kind of local art centers near where I live. It's two pieces turned, so there's like the kind of base or cylinder itself, and the kind of stake was also turned individually. The base is sycamore, ash, poplar, and walnut glued up, and then the kind of spire is mahogany and walnut. Most of the ones I've done so far have been just straight cylinders, so I was trying to think what I can play with shape-wise to kind of deviate from that a little bit, but still keeping it kind of in like that tall rectangular shape. So far, the other one I did, which I'll probably bring next week, kind of has pint glass vibes, you know what I mean? So it wasn't, you know, it looks almost like something you'd get at a brewery. So like, I don't dislike it, but it kind of looks more like a glass than I would like it to. So I kind of thought about necking it in, and that's what kind of gave me the title, essentially. I was like, oh, it kind of has like an hourglass vibe, so that was kind of where I kind of leaned into the title for with that. The base of it is some sprockets from the rear cassette, which is the grouping of gears on the rear wheel of a bicycle, has a front bicycle hub. And then I've been playing a little bit more with the kind of fingers. Most of the ones I have either kind of a claw kind of coming up and down, but I was trying to think what else I can come up with. So it started off essentially looking like a bicycle rotor itself. So I cut out all the kind of sections around and a few of the fingers, then just kind of bent them into an orientation that kind of aesthetically led to these kind of pointy wing things. But yeah, it turned out pretty neat. I've been did this on the original one I did, so I kind of wanted to revisit that, so it kind of made sense in the series of them. I'm shooting for somewhere in like the 12 to 16 of them total. Right now I've got about 8. And this is just some aluminum wire. I believe it's like a 10 gauge. You kind of that I spin into a rope, and then I'll like relief the section away on the lathe, and then just kind of wind it around so it kind of fits as flush as possible with it. That's it.
How did you cut that sprocket?
I finally, got some sense and a couple extra bucks. I have like an electric like cutoff wheel now. I was doing it with like the Dremel with the like quarter-size discs and just sitting there and like, swatting them away as they shatter. You know what I mean? Like and like wearing them, the big goggles as I could, and like you're just burning through them. And like some of these rotors, they're not crazy thick, but it's 2 or 3 millimeters of hardened steel because it's meant to withstand braking forces. So this one I Yeah, I got like a nice larger cutoff wheel, which, I mean, fractions of the time. I mean, what probably used to take me 30 minutes to cut these rotors up, I'm doing in about 4, you know? So trying to really streamline the process and just not huffing all that stuff too, because it's just powdering into the air. I mean, I've got breathing protection, but still you come in just, you know, glistening like you've been in the coal mines or something like that. And then just kind of using my vise and like kind of really long needle nose pliers so I can really control where it bends. I probably could maybe start to score there a little bit so it like wants to follow a line, but you can usually really get about 1 bend and maybe a little bit of deviation. I feel like if I scored it, it might snap because it is pretty brittle. So I've just been kind of like really just trying to clamp it in good spots and just twisting the whole rotor as, you know, as an assembly, or getting like, I've got some like probably 14, 16-inch needle nose pliers. So that kind of gives me the leverage to kind of make nice clean bends. Oh, yes.
You said you have like 8 of these? on
Yes, I brought in 1 so far, but yeah, so there's going to be, get ready for a next few Tuesdays, going to be a whole lot of this. But yeah, I've got a couple of things to slide in there to break it up. Maybe a lamp, Russell.
Are you going to mount them on your wall?
No, they're freestanding, and there's a little bit of things with that too. That which most of the places that I have shown at before, it really, a lot of it is like wall hung art. They only have like so many pedestals, so hopefully I'm not limiting myself in that regard. Some of the things I've made like this, I've begun to like mount them to like live edge pieces of wood just to kind of make it wall hung, because it might be a little bit easier too. Because I was trying to envision like where this lives in somebody's house when they buy it, or like someone like a yoga studio, and this might be in the background where you sign up, just kind of creating a vibe or something. Hopefully. Making it's the fun part, trying to, you know, not just have a wealth of it, and finding a means to get it into other people's hands is always the goal. Well, thank you so much.
And last on the formal list tonight is David with a keyboard dust cover. There we go.
See how uninformative that is. Yep, does cover all right. So the garage is, sometimes it's a wood shop. Sometimes there's a 3D printer in there. Sometimes there's, it could be anything. And at least I didn't want my $5 garage sale keyboard to get covered with sawdust. So Dust Cover 1.0 is contained in Dust Cover 2.0. And it is a recycled dog food bag. And it's pieces of a 2x4 that I shaved down to 5 millimeters. 3 of them, actually. I've had pieces left over. I'll be doing 5 millimeter wood small projects until the end of time, probably. But I'm not wasting anything. So, no nails, no screws, 2 different kinds of glue, not much sanding, but it works. I even got the notch in place, see, for where the cord comes out of the keyboard. Yay! Question.
Yeah, that looks really simple, but it sounds like you put a little bit of effort into that. How long did it take you?
Maybe 15 minutes for the cutting out the wood and figuring out what I wanted. Almost an entire day waiting for glue to dry. And it's not great, but it does work. So I'm good. What is the question?
I just wanted to fun with you and ask if there's going to be a matching mouse cover as well.
The thought has crossed my mind, and I've got enough dog food bag to do it.
Waste not.
And better yet, it's a cordless mouse. I won't have to cut a notch. It's a simple. Well, yeah, and I could have like magnets or something so they would actually clip onto the side, and maybe it would blink, because why not? Okay, I'm good. Thanks.
That's the end of our official list of people who signed up. Was there anyone who came in late or just didn't quite get your name on the list who would like to share something? Going once? Okay. Just a few announcements to wrap up. First, we got the shop cleaned up a couple weeks ago for our market. Let's keep it that way. If you see a mess, if you make a mess, goodness gracious, please clean up your own messes. If you see another mess, just pick it up, throw some trash away, wipe down a surface, find an empty drink can, throw it in the recycling. Just help us keep this place shining.
Use our dumpster, not Sparks.
Yeah, so there are two dumpsters out there. One of them, which is farthest from the door, is ours. Use that one. We get in trouble if we use the other dumpster because it's not ours. We're not paying for that one. So thanks, Billy. Really, the only other announcements I have tonight are a whole lot of events coming up. It is a very, very full few days. Starting tonight, after this event, give us maybe 5-10 minutes after this, we'll reset and do a new members onboarding. Is anybody new visiting? Yeah. If you got time, this might be a good thing to stick around for. We got another in a couple weeks, I think. But this is a thing that new members attend to learn more about what we're about and how to behave and how you can enrich your life by being a member of Knox Makers. It's also, although they won't admit it themselves, is very engaging and interesting and entertaining to watch. I've seen it at least twice, so trust me. So stick around for that if you'd like to. It is required if you want to become a member, but you have about 30 days after membership to see it. So this Saturday, October 11th, we have a slew of classes starting at 10 a.m. With Moonraker, which is our laser cutter that cuts wood and organic stuff. We have a class on the other laser, which is called Crossbow. It engraves and cuts metal, right? And that is at 2 p.m. Saturday. A few hours later at 5 p.m., there's a hand plane rescue, not class, I think just demonstration. Yeah, in the woodworking zone. Again, that's at 5 p.m. It's just a show up, if I'm not mistaken. It's not a ticketed event, just kind of show up and.
There is tickets online,
It's a $0 RSVP maybe, so they know about how many to expect. Yeah, and at 6:30 p.m. Does anybody know what season kind of generally this is this time of year? Isaac, any idea? Halloween is coming up, and Isaac every year hosts an annual spook show. It's a movie extravaganza with junk food and pizza and great company and much blood and curdling of blood and screaming in the form factor of movies. So show up around 6:30 if you'd like to see that. Beware. Oh, I should put this little thing up. We'll make it super scary. Super scary. There we go. Beware, there will be, oh man, I'm so bad at this. Okay. There will be a tamer set of movies, or a tamer movie and set of short features, I think early. As the evening advances, it will be terrifying and bloody and gory and awful. If you're not up for that, you might want to bow out a little bit early. But come one, come all, it's a great time. I come every year. So Monday, October 13th, there's a class in woodworking on mortise and tenon joinery. So if you'd like to stick things together without using metal hardware, and in fact using specific techniques, come for that. That's at, I didn't write down the time, but it's Monday, October 13th, 7 p.m. Thanks, Sean. Tuesday, October 14th, there's a Kill Switch open sparring session. That's just right before show and share. Kill Switch, if you don't know, is robot fighting, right? People build robots and we fight them together in an arena. It's great fun. Show up early. Come see that. Bring a robot. Next up, I'm almost done with these. October 16th, which is next Thursday, there's another new members onboarding. So if you missed tonight, come on the 16th. Visit another new members onboarding. Friday the 17th, there's an event called Monsters Made with Hate, appropriate to the season. One of our members teaches a class on making monsters with love. And so for this season, she and another member are coming together to teach you how to make monsters filled with hate. It's great fun and good fun, and it's a cool sewing craft. Beyond that, just quickly without dates, there's going to be a Woodworking 101 coming up. If you want to use the wood shop and you haven't been authorized, get that ticket. There's a Stitch and Bitch coming up in a week or two. That's just a social, open to the public. Bring a fiber art craft or project. Hang out. There's a Spaghetti Fixins event, which is about 3D printers and helping repair 3D printers and fixing your own stuff and just community around 3D printing coming in the future. And then there's another Kill Switch challenge in a couple weeks as well. So if that's too much, if you can't remember all that, we have a website. It's called knoxmakers.org. There's a big events link at the top. You can go there and see at any time the calendar of events, and you may purchase tickets or RSVP for tickets. If you do go to the Spook Show, if you're planning to, please do RSVP because that enables us to know how much pizza to buy and how many goodies to bring that will rot your teeth and destroy your stomach. Yes. Yes, Spook Show is in this room. Wear a costume if you want, but not required. I believe that is the announcements unless I've missed anything that anyone wants to tell me. All right, thanks everybody. We will now, if you're a new person here and you would like a tour, haven't had one yet, or if you just have questions, find somebody with a red badge and we'll talk to you and we'll tell you things and answer questions and show you around the space. Yes, Tracy.
We'll also do tours after new member onboarding if people want to go to that.
Yeah, we'll also do tours. Tracy says after new member onboarding. That's about a 45-minute thing.
Sure.
30, 45 minutes. Hang around. We're going to go into the shop. We're going to be social. If you have a project, work on it and hang out. Thanks so much. See y'all next Tuesday.